Welcome back to the deep dive.
We are looking at a massive stack of training manuals, interview transcripts, and expert notes, and they are all centered around one single goal:
Right.
transforming you, the
Yeah.
listener, into the absolute perfect candidate for a government job.
And we aren't just talking about those, general interview tips like, oh, make sure you smile or have a firm handshake.
So those definitely matter.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they do matter. But we are talking about a highly specific blueprint today. We have 20 specific questions, the actual psychology behind them, and the exact formulas you need to answer them.
Think of this deep dive as an AI coach simulation.
Exactly. By the end of this hour, you should be ready to walk into a civil service interview, maybe a police board, an education department panel, really any public sector role, and not just survive it, but completely crush it.
It really is a simulation.
Yeah.
And before we even get to that first question, we had to do some serious rewiring of your brain.
Why is that?
Because most people,
Mm-hmm.
smart, highly capable people, they walk into a government interview and they just fail right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they fail because they approach it the exact same way they approach a corporate interview.
Right. Because if I'm, say, interviewing for a job at a tech startup or even a big marketing firm, I want to show them I'm a rock star, right? I want to show them I'm a disruptor, that I break the rules to get things done, that whole move fast and break things mentality.
And in the private sector, being a disruptor is a virtue. It means innovation. It usually means profit.
Right.
But if you walk into a government interview with that, move fast and break things energy, you are going to absolutely terrify the panel.
Terrify them.
Oh, yeah. You are basically waving a massive red flag that just says liability.
Liability. That sounds a bit harsh.
It's accurate, though.
Yeah.
A government panel isn't looking for a disruptor. They are looking for a guardian.
A guardian. I like that framing.
Yeah, they aren't hiring an employee to generate profit. They're selecting a representative of the state to uphold the law. The underlying psychology is just completely different.
So in a startup, risk is good because risk brings reward.
Right, but in the government, risk is bad because risk brings lawsuits. It brings public scandals. It brings instability.
Okay, so if I go in there talking about how I'm going to revolutionize the department on day one and change all their outdated systems.
You're killing your chances instantly. They want stability. They want lawfulness. They want service. If you say you're going to change everything, what they actually hear is, I'm going to ignore protocol and cause a massive PR disaster.
Okay, so step one is a major vibe check. We are shifting entirely from star performer to reliable guardian.
Precisely. So here is our roadmap for this deep dive. We're going to start by decoding that public service mindset.
Unpacking what they actually want.
Right. We need to understand the 4 core pillars they are scanning for. Then we'll look at the physical stuff, body language, the mechanics of how you sit and speak. Because yes, there is a strict protocol for that.
Good to know.
Then we are going to do a deep, really granular analysis of 20 specific questions. We've broken them down into categories: personal, ethics, service, and governance.
And for each one, we're going to give you a formula, maybe point out a bad answer, and then give you the winning answer.
Exactly. We'll do drills. It'll be interactive.
I love that. Okay, let's unpack this. Section 1, the foundations. What is actually going on inside the heads of the people sitting across that table? They're usually senior officials, right?
Usually very senior. People with decades of experience in the bureaucracy. And they are hunting for non-negotiable traits. If you look at the source material we have, there are 4 pillars they're constantly scanning for in every single answer you give, whether you're talking about your greatest weakness or just your weekend hobbies.
And the first pillar?
The first pillar is integrity.
Which means doing the right thing when unobserved.
Precisely. Can they trust you with power? Can they trust you with public funds? Unlike a private company where the bottom line is money, here the bottom line is public trust.
Makes sense.
If you lose public trust, you have nothing.
What's the second pillar?
Discipline and rule following.
This goes right back to that guardian idea.
It does. Government works on procedure. It is not about creativity. It is about absolute adherence to the law. If there is a policy, you follow it. You don't improvise.
Because improvisation in government leads to unfairness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It leads to unequal treatment of citizens.
And the third pillar.
Respect for authority. You are entering a hierarchy, a very strict, defined chain of command. You need to show that you understand and respect that structure.
So no going over your boss's head.
Right. You can't just bypass your supervisor because you think you have a better idea. And finally, the fourth pillar is the public service mindset.
Meaning putting the citizen first.
Always. Are you here to serve the public, or are you just here for a steady paycheck? They need to know it's the former.
Let's contrast this a bit more because I think this is where a lot of people trip up. If I'm in a private sector interview, say for a mid-level sales role, my communication style is probably persuasive, maybe a little aggressive, very closer energy.
Right. High energy, maybe using a bit of industry slang.
Yeah.
Very casual and relatable.
But here,
Your communication needs to be formal. We're talking A2 to B1 level English. Clear, grammatically correct, but not overly flowery or complex. It needs to be precise.
simple but formal.
Yes. In a startup, you might make decisions based on intuition or potential profit. In government, every single decision is based strictly on policy.
What about accountability? How does that shift?
In a company, you answer to your boss, or maybe the shareholders. In the government, you answer to the public. You are directly accountable for public resources. Every pen you buy, every hour you sit at your desk is paid for by the taxpayer.
That's a lot of pressure when you phrase it like that.
It's the reality of the job. And there's one more major difference: neutrality. You must be unbiased. You absolutely cannot bring your political opinions, your religious views, or your personal prejudices into that interview room.
That is a really tough one for people these days. I mean, everyone has a very loud opinion right now.
You can have an opinion at home. In the interview, you are a blank slate of policy implementation. You serve whatever government is in power.
Okay, so we have the mindset locked in. We are calm, we are disciplined, we are rule followers, we are neutral. Now, let's talk about the physical reality of the room. Section 2, behavior and personality protocol.
This is crucial.
I walk into the room. What do? Do I walk up and high-five the panel?
Please do not high-five the panel.
Okay, definitely no high fives.
The entrance completely sets the tone. You walk in and you greet the panel respectfully. You say, "Good morning, sir." "Good morning, ma'am." You acknowledge the gender and the rank of the people in the room. And this is the important part, you wait.
I wait, like standing up.
Yes, you wait to be asked to sit down. Or, if they are silent, you politely ask permission. "May I sit?"
That sounds really old-fashioned, archaic almost.
It might feel that way, but it shows that respect for authority we just talked about. It immediately shows you know your place in the room's hierarchy.
Okay, so they say yes, and I sit. Now, I tend to slouch a bit when I get comfortable.
Don't get comfortable, get focused. Posture is a major silent communicator. Sit upright, do not slouch.
Because slouching looks lazy.
It signals casualness or a lack of energy and discipline. You want to project a state of disciplined alertness. Imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head straight toward the ceiling.
Got it. Upright. And where do I look?
Eye contact is essential for showing honesty. If you look down at your hands or look away when answering a question, it subconsciously signals to the panel that you are hiding something or that you're unsure of yourself.
But I shouldn't just stare them down without blinking, right?
Oh, don't stare them down like a predator. Keep it natural, but engaged. Look at the person asking the question and occasionally glance at the others.
What about the speed of my voice? I know when I get nervous, I talk like a fast-talking auctioneer. Be like, "Hi, my name is John, and I really want this job because..."
That's a very common killer. Nervousness often manifests as speed. You need to speak at a measured pace.
Not robotic, though.
Right, not robotic but thoughtful. It shows you are carefully considering your words. Government officials have to be careful with their words. Rushing implies recklessness.
And if you rush, you're more likely to make a mistake. Okay, here's a nightmare scenario. They ask me a question maybe about a specific policy or a piece of local legislation, and I have absolutely no idea what the answer is. My brain just goes completely blank. Do I try to bluff my way through it? Talk around it?
Never, ever bluff.
Really? Not even a little educated guessing?
No. If you lie or make something up, you violate the integrity pillar immediately. And trust me, they will know you don't know. The unsure moment is actually a massive test of character.
So what do I do? Just stare at them in silence?
No, you handle it with dignity. The correct move is to admit it, but respectfully. You say, "I am sorry, I do not know the exact details at this moment, but I will make it a priority to learn."
That feels vulnerable.
It is, but it shows honesty. It shows a willingness to learn, which is infinitely better than a wrong, bluffed answer. It shows you know your own limits.
Okay, that is an excellent setup. We are in the chair, we are upright, we are respectful, our pace is measured. Now, let's get into the meat of this simulation. Section 3, the personal question.
This is where we establish identity.
Yeah.
Usually the start of the interview. The panel is trying to figure out who you actually are and if you fit their specific mold.
All right, question number one, the classic, the one that starts pretty much every interview ever. Tell us about yourself.
It is the most common opening, and ironically, it's also where people ramble the most. They get in there and start talking about their childhood, their dogs, their love of hiking on the weekends.
Well, I was born in a small town.
Exactly. Stop right there. The panel does not care about your biography. They care about your utility.
Utility?
Yes. They are testing your discipline and your background. They want a tight, professional summary of why you are sitting in that chair.
So what's the formula? How do we structure this so we don't end up rambling about our pets?
The formula is very straightforward. Current identity plus academic or professional background plus values plus relevance to the role.
Okay.
And you really want to hit the key phrase, disciplined and responsible individual.
Let's look at the sample answer from our source material. I'll read it and you break it down for us.
Go for it.
The sample is, I am a disciplined and responsible individual with a strong academic background and a commitment to public service. I believe in integrity, accountability, and serving the community. I have developed strong organizational and communication skills, which I believe are essential for government work.
That answer is incredibly tight.
Yeah.
Notice how it hits every single key word they are listening for. Discipline, integrity, accountability.
It doesn't mention a single hobby.
No, it frames the candidate entirely as a professional asset ready to be deployed.
It does feel a little stiff, though. Is that okay?
For this specific job, stiff is actually good. Stiff means professional, but obviously you have to personalize it with your real details.
Okay, listener, this is the AI coach part of the deep dive. I want you to actively practice this. We'll give you a customizable template. You just need to fill in the blanks with your own life.
The template is, I am a blank individual with a degree or background in blank. My core values are blank and blank, which I want to bring to this department.
Expert, give us a short, punchy version for someone who might struggle with memorizing that longer one.
Try this one. I am a hardworking graduate in economics with a strong desire to serve the nation through honest and disciplined work.
Okay, listener, take a second. Pause the playback if you need to. Say that out loud. Fill in the blanks for yourself. I am a disciplined individual with a background in prosecuting. Go ahead.
Good. Getting used to saying words like disciplined and service out loud is really important. It needs to feel natural coming out of your mouth, not like you're reading a script you wrote on your hand.
Moving right along to question 2. Why do you want a government job?
This is the motivation test. And this is where that disruptor versus guardian mindset really matters.
Because if I say, for the salary or for the pension or for the job security.
Or fail.
Even if it's true, let's be honest, stability is a huge draw for public sector.
It is entirely true, but you cannot say it like that. The panel is looking for stability in service.
So what's the key concept I should be focused on here?
National development and structured systems. You want to show them that you appreciate the actual way government works, not just what it pays you at the end of the month.
Let's try this sample answer from the notes. I want a government job because it allows me to serve the public directly and contribute to national development. I value stability, transparency, and structured systems, which are core strengths of the public.
Notice exactly how that answer frames stability. It's not, I want to save jobs so I can relax and never get fired.
Right.
It's, I value the structured nature of the sector. That implies you actually work better in a highly structured environment. That becomes a strength rather than you just leeching off the system's security.
That's a great reframe. Okay, question 3. Why should we select you?
This one tests confidence versus arrogance. It's a very fine line to walk. In a private sales job, you might say, because I'm the best closer you'll ever meet and I'll double your revenue.
But
the focus must be on honesty, hard work, and public trust.
So less I'm the absolute best and more I am the most reliable.
Exactly. Here is the sample for this one. I am honest, hardworking, and committed to responsibility. I understand that government roles require accountability and public trust. I am prepared to work diligently and uphold the department's standards.
Uphold the department standards. That sounds very deferential.
It is deferential. It essentially says, I am not here to change your standards or tell you how to do your jobs. I am here to meet your standards. That is music to a veteran bureaucrat's.
Question 4. What do you know about this department?
This is the preparation test. Simply put, if you haven't researched the specific department you are interviewing for, you are in deep trouble.
Right. If you walk into the Department of Education and start talking about building highways.
Exactly. But generally speaking, you can use a solid template that revolves around 3 concepts: policy, service, and welfare.
Let's give them the template answer. I understand that this department plays a crucial role in implementing government policies and delivering services to the public. Its main objective is to ensure efficiency, transparency, and public welfare.
And in the actual interview, you would definitely insert specific details. Like, for example, I know this department recently launched the Rural Broadband Initiative.
Right, show them you read the news.
But the core structural pillars of your answer are always policy, service, and welfare.
Question 5. What are your strengths?
Whatever you do, don't say I'm highly creative. Don't say I'm a visionary.
Why not? Everyone loves a visionary.
Because visionaries ignore the rules to achieve their vision. Creatives color outside the lines. The government needs people who color inside the lines perfectly, every single time.
So what's the right answer then?
My strengths include discipline, time management, and integrity. I follow rules strictly and complete tasks within deadlines.
Simple. Effective. It basically tells them you won't cause them any headache.
Exactly. You are presenting yourself as a low-maintenance, high-reliability employee.
And then comes the flip side. Question 6. What is your weakness?
This is a trap. It is always a trap, no matter where you interview.
So don't say I have no weaknesses.
Never. That's arrogant and obviously untrue. And definitely do not say I am lazy or I have a really bad temper. That will instantly disqualify you. You need a weakness that is actually a strength in disguise or something you are already actively fixing.
The strategy here is usually the perfectionist angle, right?
Right. The I focus too much on details angle.
Let me read the sample answer. I sometimes focus too much on details, but I am learning to balance quality and efficiency.
See what you did right there?
Yeah.
You admitted a fault getting bogged down in the fine details, but that fault actually implies you care deeply about accuracy.
Which they want.
Exactly. In a government job involving sensitive paperwork or legal documents, focusing on details is actually a vital thing, but you frame it as a weakness that you are managing.
Okay, that covers the personal side. Let's shift gears. We are now entering Section 4, the ethics and integrity.
This is the danger zone.
The danger zone.
Yes. This is where the interview is genuinely won or lost. You can have the best resume in the world, the best degrees, but if you answer these specific questions wrong, you are out.
Why is this section so critical?
Because this is where candidates fail by getting emotional, getting political, or trying to be a hero. The expert warning here is simple. Total neutrality is required.
Let's start with question 7, and this is a heavy one. How would you handle corruption if you observed it?
A lot of people want to answer this like they are a movie hero. They think, oh, I need to show the panel I'm tough on crime. So they say, I'd confront the person directly. Or I'd secretly record them and call the news media.
And why is that wrong? It shows initiative, doesn't it?
Because that is vigilantism. It completely ignores the chain of command. It exposes the entire department to massive legal liability. And, frankly, it shows you do not trust the system you are applying to work for.
So what is the absolute rule here?
Follow official channels. No vigilantism. You need to sound like a careful bureaucrat, not Batman.
Let's read the sample answer. I would follow official procedures and report the matter through proper channels. Integrity is essential in government service, and transparency must always be maintained.
See that? Proper channels. That is the magic phrase. It shows you know there is a legal process for this, and you trust that process to work.
Okay, listener, let's do a quick simulation on this one because they will push you. I'm the interviewer. I'm leaning across the table, looking at you suspiciously. I ask, but what if the person being corrupt is your close friend? Or what if it's your direct boss? How would you handle corruption then?
Think about it for a second.
Did you hesitate? Did you say, well, I'd probably talk to them privately first?
If you did, that's wrong. The answer is exactly the same. I would follow official procedures and report through proper channels. The rules do not change for your friends or your boss. That is the real test.
Question 8. What does integrity mean to you?
This is a core values test. The definition you need to give is simple, but incredibly powerful.
The sample is, integrity means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. In government service, it means honesty, fairness, and responsibility toward public trust.
Doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Memorize that specific phrase. It is the gold standard definition of integrity in public service. It means you don't need a supervisor staring over your shoulder, to be honest.
Question 9. Now, this is a tough one, and honestly, it happens in real life all the time. How would you handle pressure from political or external sources?
This tests your backbone, but also your neutrality. You will absolutely face pressure in these jobs. A local politician wants a building permit approved faster. A local businessman offers a small donation to speed up his file.
If I say I listen to the politician because they are an elected official, I fail, right?
You fail immediately. You are not their personal servant. You are a servant of the law.
But if I say I'd tell them to get lost and start bribing me, that's too aggressive.
Also a fail. You need to be highly diplomatic, but completely immovable. The answer must be that the rules are your shield.
The sample answer: I would strictly follow government rules and regulations. Decisions should be based on policy, not external pressure.
You aren't saying you'd fight the politician in the street. You're saying, my hands are tied by the rules. It depersonalizes the conflict. It protects you. I'm just following the policy, sir. It is the ultimate bureaucratic defense.
Rounding out this ethics section, we have question 13. How do you ensure fairness in your work?
This tests your impartiality.
The sample: by following rules, avoiding favoritism, and treating all citizens equally.
Avoiding favoritism, that is the key phrase. It implies you won't help your friends or your family get ahead of others in line. In many cultures, helping your family is seen as a great virtue. But in government, it is nepotism. You have to be crystal clear that you know the difference.
Okay, we are moving on to section 5, the service and situation cluster. This is really about the daily grind of the job. Can you handle the actual work, or do you just like the idea of having the title?
These questions test your resilience and your understanding of the public interface, because dealing with the public is hard.
Let's look at question 10. How do you handle workload pressure? Because, let's be real, bureaucracy moves slowly, but the paperwork piles up incredibly fast.
The formula here is prioritize plus deadlines plus organize. Don't say, I just work late every single night.
Because that sounds like bad time management.
Exactly. It makes you look inefficient.
The sample answer is, I prioritize tasks, follow deadlines, and stay organized. Pressure can be managed through planning and discipline.
It's highly practical. It shows you don't panic when a stack of files lands on your desk. You have a system.
Question 11. What is the role of a public servant?
This seems like a simple definition, but you need to be precise. It's about implementation, welfare, and no bias.
Here's the sample. A public servant ensures implementation of policy, maintains transparency, and works for the welfare of citizens without bias.
Notice the specific word implementation. Public servants usually don't make the laws. Politicians do that in the legislature. Public servants implement them. Acknowledging that distinction shows you understand your exact place in the constitutional machinery. You are the gears. You are not the driver.
Question 12. This is basically a binary test. Are you willing to work in remote areas?
There is only one correct answer to this question. Yes.
But what if I hate the countryside? What if my family lives in the capital?
Then, honestly, don't apply for a government job. If you say, well, I prefer the city, or could I just commute, you are signaling that your personal comfort is more important than the service of the state.
The sample answer: yes. I understand that government service may require relocation.
Yep.
I am prepared to serve wherever assigned.
Even if you are screaming internally at the thought of moving, the answer is yes.
Question 14. What motivates you?
Again, this is about alignment with public goals. Don't say money, don't say status or prestige.
The sample: serving the public and contributing to the country's development motivates me.
Short, sweet, and patriotic. It is very hard for a panel to argue with that.
Question 15. This is a very real simulation question. How would you deal with an angry citizen?
This happens every single day in government offices. Someone comes in, their application for something was rejected, and they are screaming at you over the counter. What do?
My human instinct is to argue back, to defend myself. I didn't reject it, the system did.
And that's exactly the wrong move. You are the face of the state in that moment. You must remain completely cool. The technique is remain calm, then listen, then resolve according to policy.
The sample is, I would remain calm, listen carefully, and try to resolve the issue according to policy.
You do not take their anger personally. You don't get angry back. Your goal is to de-escalate, and notice the very end of that answer. Resolve according to policy.
Meaning you don't just give them what they want to make them go away.
Correct. If the policy says no, the answer is still no. But you deliver that no calmly and professionally.
Question 16. What do you understand about accountability?
This is a major buzzword in the public sector.
The sample: accountability means being responsible for your actions and decisions, especially when handling public resources.
Public resources. That's the money shot right there. It shows you fully grasped that you are spending tax dollars, you aren't playing with monopoly money, It's the public's money.
Okay, we are engaging the bigger picture now. Section 6, governance, hierarchy, and the future.
These questions really separate the entry-level thinkers from the future leaders of the department. These are the questions that show you understand how the giant machine actually works.
Let's start with question 17. What is good governance?
This sounds like a University of Political Science essay question. You need to list the actual pillars here. You can't just waffle and say, well, it means being good.
The sample answer. Good governance includes transparency, accountability, rule of law, efficiency, and public participation.
If you could sit there and rattle those 5 off, transparency, accountability, rule of law, efficiency, public participation, you sound incredibly professional. It sounds like you have already read the internal handbook.
Let's break just one of those down for context. Transparency. What does that actually mean to a mid-level clerk?
It means you aren't hiding files. It means there are clear, documented reasons for your decisions. It means if a citizen asks, why was my permit rejected, you can pull out the rule book and show them the exact statute.
Question 18. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Now, in the private sector, you might say running my own business, or, honestly, sitting in your chair.
Right, showing ambition.
But here, that is dangerous. You want to show stability and loyalty.
The sample. I see myself performing my duties effectively, gaining experience and contributing positively to the department.
You are committed to the department. That is the key takeaway. You aren't using this job as a temporary stepping stone to something else. You are planting roots.
Question 19. I think this is the trickiest question in the whole stack. What would you do if your senior gave you an unfair order?
Oh, this is a classic hierarchy test. It deliberately pits your respect for authority against your integrity.
Because if I say I'd refuse the order, I'm being insubordinate. But if I say I'd just do it, I lack integrity. It feels like a total lose-lose situation.
It's a Kobayashi Maru. The only way to win is to change the parameters of the test. You don't fight and you don't submit. You clarify.
So what's the diplomatic approach here?
Respectfully seek clarification. Ensure alignment with the rules.
I'll read this. I would respectfully seek clarification and ensure the decision aligns with official rules and
Seek clarification is a beautiful phrase in bureaucracy. It gives the senior officer a chance to correct themselves without you openly accusing them of being corrupt or unfair.
Right.
You are essentially saying, sir, I just want to make absolutely sure I understood this correctly in regards to policy X. Usually the senior will realize they're crossing a line and they will back down.
Finally, question 20. Do you have any questions for us?
Never say no to this. It shows a complete lack of interest. But also, do not ask about the salary, the holidays, or how long the lunch breaks are. Not yet.
The strategy is to ask about responsibilities. The sample, yes. I would like to understand the key responsibilities and expectations for this position during the first year.
It shows a genuine eagerness to work. It shows you are already mentally in the role, planning out how you can be effective in your first year.
Okay, we've successfully covered all 20 questions. That is the script. But as we know, scripts are totally useless if the delivery is bad. Let's talk about the intangibles. Section 7, confidence training and common mistakes.
Confidence is deeply physical. It is about controlling that nervous energy. You need to speak clearly.
Let's do a quick demonstration. Here's mumbling. I'm going to do my best impression of a nervous, underprepared candidate. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty good at, administrative stuff. I like helping people out, I guess.
Terrible. Immediate fail. I simply cannot trust you with a sensitive government file if you can't even trust your own voice.
Okay, now here is projecting. I believe my skills are well suited for this position because I am disciplined, dedicated, and strictly follow procedures.
Much, much better. It is all about breath control. Take a breath before you speak and avoid panic. If they hit you with a tough question, pause.
A pause is okay.
A 3-second silence shows you are thinking deeply. A 3-second shows you are panicking. Embrace the silence.
And what about the red flags? The major mistakes to avoid. We've touched on a few of these, but let's list them clearly so they are front of mind.
Number 1, talking about politics. It is the third rail of government interviews. Do not touch it. Do not mention the current prime minister, the president, the opposition party, or the latest protest on the news.
Just complete neutrality.
Yes. Number 2, criticizing the government. Instant fail. You cannot work for an organization you openly despise. Even if the public website is terribly slow, do not complain about it in the interview.
Right.
Number 3, overconfidence. Do not be arrogant. You are applying to be a servant, not a master. Number 4, robotic memorization. We just gave you a lot of templates, but you need to speak them naturally.
If you sound like a text-to-speech bot just rattling off a script,
They will wonder if you have any actual human reasoning skills at all. And finally, number 5, emotional responses. Keep your cool. If they push you on a question, they are actively testing your temper. Don't take the bait.
so how do we actually get there? How do we go from just listening to this deep dive to actually crushing the interview in real life? Section 8, the practice regime.
You cannot just listen to these notes once. You have to do the work. First, mock interview role play. Find a partner, a friend, a spouse, or even just a mirror. Have them ask you these 20 questions randomly.
What's the second step?
Mirror practice. Sit in front of a mirror and watch your own face. Are you smiling nervously when talking about serious topics? Are you frowning? Are you slouching in the chair? Fix it.
Third step.
Self-recording. Everyone hates the sound of their own voice, but you need to do it. Record your answers on your phone's voice memo app. Listen back. Are you speaking way too fast? Is your tone respectful?
Consistency is definitely key here. Daily speaking practice. Even if it's just answering one of the questions out loud while you're waiting for your coffee to...
Exactly. Why do I want this job? Because I value stability and service. Say it until it becomes muscle memory. Say it until you genuinely believe it.
All right, we are nearing the end of our time. It is time for Section 9, the final exam. I'm going to give a rapid-fire mini-quiz to test if you've really been absorbing this. I'll ask a question, and I want you, the listener, to think of the answer before the expert reveals it.
And see if you have developed the mindset.
Quiz question 1. What is the primary duty of a public servant? A, to make a profit for the government. B, to implement policy and ensure public welfare. Or C, to change laws they personally don't like.
The answer is B, implementation and welfare. You do not make the laws, you apply them.
Quiz question 2. How do you handle political pressure from an elected official? A, do what the politician says immediately. B, call the local news media. Or C, strictly follow rules and policy.
C, the rules are your absolute shield. Never forget that.
Quiz question 3. What is the definition of integrity?
Doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Quiz question 4. Can you refuse a transfer to a remote rural area?
No, you must be willing to serve wherever assigned. If you say no, you probably won't get the job.
Quiz question 5. What do you do if you just don't know an answer?
Admit it respectfully. Do not bluff. Bluffing is a massive integrity violation.
How did you do? If you got 5 out of 5, you are definitely on the right track. You are starting to think like a guardian.
And right before you walk into that actual interview room, run through what I call the doorstep checklist. Check your physical appearance. Is your shirt tucked in? Are your shoes clean? Do you look the part?
Check your documents, too.
Yes. Do you have all your copies organized neatly? Review that definition of integrity one last time in your head. And remember the golden rule. Speak confidently, but always respectfully.
This brings us to the end of our simulation today. We've covered a huge amount of ground.
We have. And if we had to summarize this entire deep dive into a single thought, it comes down to 4 vital words: law, rules, accountability, and service.
If you anchor every single answer you give to those 4 words, you aren't just another nervous job seeker anymore. You are presenting yourself as a candidate for the state. You are that stable, reliable guardian they are so desperately looking for.
Don't memorize our scripts word for word. Personalize the templates. Fill in your specific degree, your real experience, but keep the underlying structure. Keep the formal, measured tone. That is exactly what wins over the panel.
We hope this blueprint serves you well in your preparation. Good luck with the practice, and good luck in your future service to the nation.
Good luck out there. Go get it.
Here is a final thought to leave you with. We spent all this time talking about strictly following the rule. But what happens when you finally get the job and you realize the rules themselves are completely outdated and actively hurting people? It's a heavy thought. But remember, save that debate for after you're hired, not for the interview chair. That's it for this deep dive. See you next time.